the body is a temple and it should be treated as such. One of the most important things in spirituality is your health, and it is a thing that many people neglect, especially Indians. The Westerners and the hippies have become, very uh, thoughtful or focused on like eating organic and eating healthy and all that, right? But quite frankly, Indians are still stuck in a paradigm of eating, quite frankly, garbage. A lot of Indians are arguing whether veg or non-veg is more important or better, and at the same time, they all eat junk food. A lot of people will obsess over like garlic and onion. I think those are tamasic and like bad energy, and if you eat them, it will like block your chakras. And at the same time, a lot of them eat street food on a daily basis. And even home cooked food in India is full of gravies, full of oil, and there's very little food in India that is fresh. And most of it is grown with pesticides, with chemical fertilizers, or even with injections and steroids in animals, or even some plants are injected with growth hormones so like apples will grow bigger. And the little organic food that India does grow is usually shipped and exported to other countries. To be completely honest, Indians just have a very bad diet at this point. I'm not saying that to shame Indians, I'm saying this to educate people, and because a lot of my fans are Indian, and a lot of people don't think that health is important for spirituality. I've even had people say to me that health doesn't matter in spirituality, that spirituality is beyond the body and beyond the mind, so how can the body be important for spirituality? How can health be important for what is beyond the physical? Which is completely silly. Health is the cornerstone of spirituality. It is so important, and I cannot stress it enough. The chakras and the energy body are directly linked with the physical. A human body has 7 chakras, an animal body is said to have 5, a plant is sometimes said to have 3, and something like a rock will have just 1 chakra, the Muladhara chakra, right? So your physical form decides how many chakras you have. Obviously, your physical form and your spiritual form are intimately linked. Can a monkey meditate? Can a monkey practice spirituality? No. Spirituality is for humans. It is dependent on the human form. If your physical condition isn't important or linked with spirituality, then why do different species have different levels of chakras, and why is spirituality uniquely human? If your physical condition wasn't important for spirituality, then a bag of nuts would be able to meditate and realize God. But this bag of nuts can't. So your physical condition is linked to your spiritual condition. And when the body is in disharmony, when the body is unhealthy, that will reflect on energy. And prana can be gained in many ways. The most direct ways in spirituality are to do mantras, which invoke prana, or to meditate and sense prana, or to do breathing exercises that invoke prana. But prana also comes directly from the diet. It comes directly from the sun and from the earth. When you are in contact with the ground, then it is scientifically proven that you receive electrons. I'm burping because it's true. You can literally go online and you will see videos of people who have like a device to measure electron flow. You hook that up to a human. When they stand on concrete, it's like a low level, right? Because there's no electron flow. The moment they step on grass or on earth, it will go up because the human receives electrons. It is scientifically proven that when people are in contact with the earth, they receive electrons from the earth. The body is made of water. Water is electrically conducive. If you put a toaster in a bathtub of a human, the human will get electrocuted because water passes electricity. And you are 70% water. You are an electric being. Electricity flows through you. And you receive electrons not just from the diet, and you receive prana not just from spiritual practice, you also receive it directly from the earth or from the sun. Even water, when it is in healthy condition, will have prana. It is also scientifically proven that water does absorb energy from the sun. It is called exclusion zone water. Some scientists are even experimenting with creating batteries based on water, because you can charge water and use it to contain electrons, to contain electricity. And water will change its molecular structure when it is exposed to the sun to hold those electrons. And modern water is kept in tanks, it is kept underground, it is kept in storage, it is not exposed to the sun, it is run through pipes. When you have water in nature, it is always exposed to the elements, it is always exposed to the sun. I usually keep my water in a glass bottle. I can't reach it from here, it's in my bag. And then I let that glass bottle stay in the sun. I always let my water get sun before I drink it. Because modern water is not exposed to sun. It becomes energetically stale. And when you let it have sun, it becomes charged once again. Being in nature with clean water, with water that is exposed to the elements, it will have much higher prana. Going to a river or a sea in nature and sitting in that with just your feet or bathing in it will have you receive energy. So being in contact with nature, being in contact with water and getting sun, that actually has you receiving prana. And see, in the modern lifestyle, people do none of these things. They sit inside all day, they don't get any sun. They wear shoes with rubber soles. Rubber. What is rubber known for? Rubber is known for wires. Why do we have rubber on wires? Because rubber is electrically isolating. I'm going to repeat. We put rubber on a wire so we don't get electrocuted, so that electricity cannot pass from the wire to me and zap me. Rubber, the most well-known property of rubber is that it stops the flow of electrons. And all shoes have rubber soles. I'm not going to create some conspiracy theory. I think it's also just because rubber is so cheap and affordable, and there's what do you call it? It doesn't break easily. I don't think we have put rubber on our shoes as some conspiracy theory. I just think it's because it's cheap, it's durable, it's affordable. But notice, we have rubber on practically all modern shoes. And what does this cause? This causes us to not receive electrons from Earth. And people never go barefoot. And if you do, people will think you're some crazy hippie. Most people, they live their entire lives never touching, or rarely touching the earth with their actual skin, with their actual feet. Ask the average person, when is the last time you walked barefoot? When is the last time you touched Mother Earth? For the average person, that is a long, long time ago. And most people, they spend their days inside in an office or in a room. How much sun do they get? They rarely get energy from the sun. They never get energy from the earth. And those are two sources of prana. And notice once again, yogis, they go into the jungle or to the Himalayas. They are in contact with nature all day. At the peak of my spiritual journey, I was in the mountains. And despite not doing any crazy mantras, despite not knowing as much as I do now, I honestly had much higher energy. Just because I was in the mountains for a month and was in contact with nature every day. That alone was enough to give me a vision of Kali. I didn't even know who she was. I had no mantra. I was just in contact with nature every day. I did yoga, I meditated every day, and after 2 weeks I saw a god. I saw Kali. For the third eye to awaken and for a person to have a spiritual experience, they simply need enough energy. And your diet, your lifestyle is so important for this. And diet as well. And now I'll get into diet. There is a very clear difference between the level of energy in what you eat. If something is fresh, it has more prana than if it is cooked or if it is stale, obviously. What has more energy? Does something that is alive have more energy, or something that is dead have more energy? Obviously, what is living, what is alive, has more energy. When you have a fresh grain, it has more prana than when you process it, than when you grind it down and you turn it into Cheerios or cereal. Obviously, a fruit that is raw, that is fresh, has more prana than when it is kept for a long time or sprayed with preservatives to keep it from going stale. Then obviously that fruit that is old, that is not fresh, has less prana. Obviously, if you have a vegetable that is fresh, then it has more prana than when it is cooked or processed and turned into a cooked meal. And cooking food isn't a bad idea by any means, but most people only eat cooked food. When is the last time a person just like ate a raw vegetable? I do that all the time. I eat raw vegetables on a daily basis, but most people only eat vegetables when they are cooked, when they are fried. And raw, fresh fruits and vegetables are the main source of prana. They are the fruits that have the most electrons. And you can even Google this. It is scientifically proven. You can literally see that a fruit that is fresh and grown without chemical fertilizer, grown without pesticides, will also have more electrons. You can measure this scientifically. There are even pictures offline of photon cameras, I believe is what they're called. You can take a picture of a fruit and you can see the photons that come off. Because once again, everything produces light, as mentioned in my last video. Not so much that you can directly see it, but everything releases photons. Everything that has energy releases photons. Fire, electricity, everything that has energy will release photons, it will release light. So the more photons something releases, the more energy it has. And you can also, if you take a picture of a fruit with a photon camera that can detect smaller spectrums of light, you can directly see that a fruit that is grown organically without chemical fertilizer, without pesticides, will shine many more photons than a apple, let's say, that is grown with pesticide, that is grown with chemical fertilizer. Fruit that is fresh, that is grown organically, that is not processed, has much more energy, much more prana than processed food. And in the modern world, people eat so much garbage. Also in the Western world, but especially in India. Westerners also eat all kinds of junk. They eat junk food all the time. They eat burgers that have so many preservatives and so low quality ingredients and so many additives, chemicals and microplastics. They eat cookies, chips and candy all the time. Once again, synthetic additives, artificial flavors, all the nonsense. And even when they do have real food, then they will have Cheerios for breakfast, which is just wheat flour. It is just white, refined grains without any energy, without any actual life force left in it. They will have bread, and proper bread from a baker that is grown with whole grains is still healthy, it is still good. But the processed bread you see in stores, the white loaves that are squishy, that is just white flour refined and processed without any actual nutrition, without any actual energy. They will eat that, and then they will have processed cheese on top of it. So a lot of the food we eat is processed, it is dead. There is no life left in it. And a lot of the junk food we eat, a lot of the candy, chips, cookies, whatever, that is even worse. It is filled with artificial flavors, with chemicals sometimes, with preservatives. And usually the packaging and the transport in these industries is so horrible that the microplastics rub off on the food. There have once again been scientific studies testing fast food, and in pretty much all fast food they found microplastics. You are eating plastic because the packaging in these industries is very low quality. When the food is kept in that packaging, it rubs off on the food. Whenever you eat a Big Mac, you are literally eating plastic. And for Indians, quite frankly, it is way, way worse because the ingredients we use are even lower quality. In the Western world, we have switched at least from palm oil to, like, I think they're using soya oil now, which is slightly healthier. But in India, you will see even lower quality ingredients. You will see palm oil. You will see even more preservatives, even more artificial flavors, and you will see even more junk food. You have all these street shops selling food that is deep fried and just made of like flour and ghee and sugar. You have all these street vendors selling chips, the lowest quality chips with palm oil and sugar. And generally, food in India is just like worse quality. And even when Indians do eat at home, they eat gravy, they eat food that is like fat, they eat food that is thoroughly cooked and thoroughly processed. The ideal diet for a human is, especially for a spiritual human, is to eat more raw food, more fresh food. I eat one meal a day that is cooked, that is prepared. For the rest, I will just have nuts and fruits and sometimes like high quality bread. But for the most part, I will have one meal a day that is cooked, and the rest of my meals are just fruits and nuts, raw fruits and raw vegetables. And I never eat junk food. I eat a few sweets every now and then for Kali, but I never eat junk food. I never eat street food. I never eat chips or anything like that. And it's super, super important because the body itself is a temple, right? If you have a temple that is dirty, then God doesn't want to go there, right? And yet people have made their own temple dirty. This temple is full of chemicals, full of microplastics, full of heavy metals. And now you think God wants to be here. The first thing that Kali made me do when I started worshiping her is she made me respect my own health. She told me to completely quit all junk. If she wants to take my life seriously, I should take my life seriously. If I don't even want to live, if I don't have the basic dignity to respect the life that God has given me, then why should she? If I don't respect my life, if I don't respect this body, then how will she? If I have not even made this body a temple for my own soul, then how will she come here as well? A lot of people don't respect this temple. They don't keep it clean. They fill it with junk and garbage because it's convenient, because it's tasty, or because they just can't bother to cook. And so many people completely neglect health, or they think it's not important. And Indians will argue about non-veg or veg. They will argue about garlic and onion and tamasic food and sattvic diet, and at the same time they will eat junk every day. And even those who don't eat processed food, they will often eat gravy and rice 3 meals a day. Even the average healthy Indian will eat rice and gravy 3 times a day. It's a diet very rich in fats. It's very oily. A lot of Indians have stomach issues, or they have problems with their sinuses. They will go out in public and they will have to spit out snot because their body is too full of oil. Even in Ayurveda, you have the three doshas, right? And I believe it's the Kapha dosha that says that when the body has too much oil, when it has too much fat, then it will have those health problems. So Indians don't even follow their own ancient philosophy of health. They have started to eat a modern diet that is horrible for them. So, luckily, the solution is very, very simple. If Bhumi Devi, if Mother Nature didn't create something, then don't eat it. You should eat food from God, from Devi, from Mother Nature, not from a factory. If you simply follow that rule, then you will be healthy. Did your Coca-Cola come from God? No. Did your Big Mac come from God? No. Did your chips come from God? No. If you simply follow this rule, you will be healthy. If Mother Nature created it, then eat it. If God made it, then it's good for you. If a factory made it, then it's bad for you. It's that simple. Eat nuts, eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat rice, eat meat, eat lentils, eat stuff that came from nature. It's that simple. Did God make cookies? No. Did God make candy? No. And it's okay to have sweets once in a while. It's also okay to get drunk once in a while, especially for your sadhana, especially if it's holy wine and you chant mantras to it. It's even okay to get high once in a while if that's what you like. I don't. I just like wine and whiskey. But see, all that daily junk, all that garbage processed food should have no place in your diet if you want to be spiritual, if you want to take your life seriously at all. And I kid you not, 95% of health issues are just caused by shitty diet. If people stopped eating junk food overnight, then immediately 95% of all doctors would lose their jobs. I'm not kidding. And so many of the mysterious diseases we have seen popping up lately, like autoimmune disorders, like arthritis, or even mental issues like depression, those are entirely caused by diet. And even obesity, in many cases, is not directly caused by eating too many calories. It is caused by eating garbage with artificial substances, with foreign substances, with microplastics, with artificial flavors, with preservatives. When the body has a foreign substance that it has to get rid of, the first thing it will do is try to get it out through your urine. It will try to detox it. But if there is too much foreign material, too much for your body to detox, it will store it in fat. This is also scientifically proven. The body, if it has too many toxins, it will store those toxins in fat. Because that is the healthiest way for the body to store them, to keep them away from organs, to keep them away from the functional parts of the body. So the body will store chemicals, microplastics, heavy metals, artificial flavors, all that in your fat. And you see a lot of people today, they are not fat in the conventional sense. When you have a person who is fat from too many calories, it will be a natural sort of fat. They will have like a bulge, a belly, right? A lot of people in today's world, they're almost like puffy. The fat is puffy. It looks different. It's hard to explain. But a lot of people are fat, in part because they eat too much, but even in bigger part because their body has to create more fat to put all those heavy metals, all those microplastics and chemicals in that fat. And when they try to eat less, they don't lose weight because the body has to keep the fat to store the toxins. Unless you start to detox, your body cannot lose fat because it has to keep that fat, to keep the toxins. And a disease like arthritis in the joints, it is usually caused because heavy metals start to accumulate in the joints. And see, when something in the body is a foreign substance or material, the body will attack it, right? When there's an invader, your immune system will activate. It will go and attack. And whenever your immune system attacks something, it will create an inflammatory response, right? Even if you have a normal disease, you will have inflammation. If you have a wound and it gets infected, you will have inflammation. That point will become swollen, it will become sore, it will become red. That is inflammation, because the body has to fight the disease. And in fighting the disease, it creates inflammation. When you have a strong disease, you will have a fever. Your entire body will be slightly inflamed to help fight the disease, right? Because naturally, when you have conflict, when you have fighting, you will have some crossfire, right? The body isn't perfect. When it has to heal something, it will also hurt the surrounding area. When soldiers go to war, the entire field will become a war field, right? So in the same way, when your body attacks something, it causes damage around that area. Now let's say your body has constantly heavy metals stored in its joints. You have heavy metals, preservatives, artificial flavors in your joints. And your body is constantly trying to attack these foreign substances because it believes they are invaders. Then what happens? You have chronic inflammation. And so many of these autoimmune disorders are chronic inflammation. Diabetes can also be caused by having chronic inflammation in the pancreas, which can once again be caused because you have a buildup of foreign material in that pancreas. So many of these modern mystery diseases that we have never seen before and that we don't have any explanations for other than take pills and immunosuppressants. So many of these diseases can very easily be explained by the fact that there is foreign material in your body somewhere which causes your body to attack that and create inflammation, creating chronic pain, creating chronic dysfunction. And the solution is simple. Don't eat junk and let your body detox. So many of these modern diseases have never ever been seen before in history. Even cancer, right? On one hand, cancer also is like random. I wouldn't blame a person if they got cancer. I wouldn't say that's their fault directly. But at the same time, we know that radiation can cause cancer. We know that many substances in our diet is carcinogenic. It causes cancer. We know directly that being radiated, that having all these waves around you, or having a phone in your pocket all day and having that radiate your balls can cause testicular cancer. And eating chemicals, artificial flavors, junk in your diet, that can also cause cancer. I won't go out and say that cancer is a lifestyle disease. It is still a shame if a person gets cancer. It is not always something they are responsible for, but the lifestyle clearly, once again, has a direct correlation, and you can, to a large part, at least reduce the risk of getting cancer by a lot, simply by eating healthy and not being silly. Once again, if it was made by Mother Nature, you should eat it. If it was made by a factory, you shouldn't. If it contains chemicals, if it contains microplastics, heavy metals, artificial flavors, preservatives, pesticides, don't fucking eat it. Eat organic, healthy food that came from Mother Nature. It's that simple. If you just do that, you will practically have no diseases, and you will have way, way, way more energy. Last time I ate a burger, a piece of junk food, was like 5 months ago. I was on my way home with my dad from work, and we were both very tired. And there was a Sunset Boulevard, which is like higher end fast food. So I thought it won't be that bad. And my dad asked if we wanted to have a burger. And Kylie was like, you should try it and see what happens. Guess what happened? I became sick for the first time in years. I literally became like, my sinuses were blocked. My body felt sore. I was in so much pain. And I literally became depressed for like an entire day. For 24 hours after eating that burger, I was sick. And even my energy, spiritually, was way, way lower. For those 24 hours, I couldn't even connect with Kali. I couldn't even sense her. I'm not even kidding when I say that eating junk food will quite literally disconnect you from God, because it will lower your energy so much that you cannot feel them. So after that day, I said, Kali, I'm never eating a burger again. Never, ever, ever. And once again, the solution is simple. Eat food from Bhumi Devi, from Mother Nature, not from a factory. And make sure to get sun every day. If possible, make sure to walk bare feet every day. And yeah, stay healthy. Because the health of the spiritual body is directly correlated and bound to the physical body. If there is physical disharmony, there will be energetic disharmony. If your body is not in good health, your energy body will not be in good health. The prana you receive from your environment, from your lifestyle, from your diet, that directly affects the energy body. If you eat junk that lowers your energy, if you never go outside and get the energy from the sun, if you never are in contact with nature, surprise, your entire body will be low energy. You won't get any prana, right? The prana received from Mother Nature, from the sun, and from the diet is just as important as the prana gained from yoga, from meditation, and from mantra. Your physical health, your lifestyle, is just as important as your sadhana. So stay healthy, stay safe, and once again, the solution is simple. Eat what came from Mother Nature, not what came from a factory. Your Coca-Cola, your Pepsi, your cake, your candy, your chips, your fast food, your junk, none of that was made by God. It was made by a mega corporation who want nothing but your money. They want you to be addicted, they want you to be sick. And then the rest of the system can sell you pills. All this junk, all this food is made by people who want to profit off you, not people who want you to be healthy or happy. Not to mention that a lot of these companies work together. I believe that it was Bayern, Monsanto, and even a healthcare company who recently merged. I can't remember which company bought which, but the biggest healthcare company in America bought the company that produces pesticides. A healthcare company bought a company that makes pesticides. And even many of the corporations that run healthcare also have ties to fast food companies, or they buy each other out and merge. There are so many companies, so many links between the companies that produce fast food, that produce pesticide, that make people sick, and the companies that profit from people being sick. That can't be a coincidence. This system and all this junk food is created to make you sick. The companies that make the food just want your money. They don't want you to be healthy and happy. And once you are sick, then the healthcare system, the doctors, they also don't want you to be healthy and happy. They just want you to continue selling you pills. They don't give you solutions. They don't actually want to explain to you how these diseases work. They don't want to tell you that it is as simple as just eating healthy. They want you to believe it is a magical disease that no one knows about. They want you to believe that it is just a genetic dysfunction, or it is something that is inherently wrong with your body that you cannot change. Because then they can sell you pills for the rest of your life. And all of this bullshit, you don't want everything. You don't want anything to do with. So just eat food that came from Mother Earth. Eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat nuts, eat rice, lentils, eat meat. Eat stuff that came from God, from nature, from Bhumi Devi, not from a factory. Stay safe, be healthy, and watch all your problems, all your health problems disappear. Jai Maa.